Hummingbird robot uses AI to soon go where drones can't. What can fly like a bird and hover like an insect? Your friendly neighborhood hummingbirds. If drones had this combo, they would be able to maneuver better through collapsed buildings and other cluttered spaces to find trapped victims. Purdue University researchers have engineered flying robots that behave like hummingbirds, trained by machine learning algorithms based on various techniques the bird uses naturally every day. This means that after learning from a simulation, the robot knows how to move around on its own like a hummingbird would, such as discerning when to perform an escape maneuver. Artificial intelligence, combined with flexible flapping wings, also allows the robot to teach itself new tricks. Even though the robot can't see yet, for example, it senses by touching surfaces. Each touch alters an electrical current, which the researchers realized they could track. The robot can essentially create a map without seeing its surroundings. This could be helpful in a situation when the robot might be searching for victims in a dark place, and it means one less sensor to add when we do give the robot the ability to see, said Xinyan Deng, an associate professor of mechanical engineering at Purdue. The researchers will present their work on May 20 at the 2019 IEEE International Conference on Robotics and Automation in Montreal. A YouTube video is available at https://youtube.be/jhl892dhqfa. Drones can't be made infinitely smaller, due to the way conventional aerodynamics work. They wouldn't be able to generate enough lift to support their weight. But hummingbirds don't use conventional aerodynamics, and their wings are resilient. The physics is simply different. The aerodynamics is inherently unsteady, with high angles of attack and high lift. This makes it possible for smaller, flying animals to exist, and also possible for us to scale down flapping wing robots, Deng said. Researchers have been trying for years to decode hummingbird flight so that robots can fly where larger aircraft can't. In 2011, the company AeroVironment, commissioned by DARPA, an agency within the U.S. Department of Defense, built a robotic hummingbird that was heavier than a real one but not as fast, with helicopter-like flight controls and limited maneuverability. It required a human to be behind a remote control at all times. Deng's group and her collaborators studied hummingbirds themselves for multiple summers in Montana. They documented key hummingbird maneuvers, such as making a rapid 180-degree turn, and translated them to computer algorithms that the robot could learn from when hooked up to a simulation. Further study on the physics of insects and hummingbirds allowed Purdue researchers to build robots smaller than hummingbirds, and even as small as insects, without compromising the way they fly. The smaller the size, the greater the wing flapping frequency, and the more efficiently they fly, Deng says. The robots have 3D printed bodies, wings made of carbon fiber and laser-cut membranes. The researchers have built one hummingbird robot weighing 12 grams, the weight of the average adult magnificent hummingbird, and another insect-sized robot weighing 1 gram. The hummingbird robot can lift more than its own weight, up to 27 grams. Designing their robots with higher lift gives the researchers more wiggle room to eventually add a battery and sensing technology, such as a camera or GPS. Currently, the robot needs to be tethered to an energy source while it flies, but that won't be for much longer, the researchers say. The robots could fly silently just as a real hummingbird does, making them more ideal for covert operations. And they stay steady through turbulence, which the researchers demonstrated by testing the dynamically scaled wings in an oil tank. The robot requires only 2 motors and can control each wing independently of the other, which is how flying animals perform highly agile maneuvers in nature. An actual hummingbird has multiple groups of muscles to do power and steering strokes, but a robot should be as light as possible, so that you have maximum performance on minimal weight, Deng said. Robotic hummingbirds wouldn't only help with search and rescue missions, but also allow biologists to more reliably study hummingbirds in their natural environment through the senses of a realistic robot. We learned from biology to build the robot, and now biological discoveries can happen with extra help from robots, Deng said. Simulations of the technology are available open source at https://github.com/purdue-biorobotics/flappy. Early stages of the work, including the Montana Hummingbird experiments in collaboration with Brett Tobolsky's group at the University of Montana, were financially supported by the National Science Foundation. This work aligns with Purdue's Giant Leap celebration, acknowledging the university's global advancements made in AI, algorithms and automation as part of Purdue's 150th anniversary. This is one of the 4 themes of the year-long celebration's Ideas Festival, designed to showcase Purdue as an intellectual center solving real-world issues. Obstacles to overcome before operating fleets of drones becomes reality. Search and rescue crews are already using drones to locate missing hikers. Farmers are flying them over fields to survey crops. And delivery companies will soon use drones to drop packages at your doorstep. With so many applications for the technology, an Iowa State University researcher says the next step is to expand capacity by deploying fleets of drones. But making that happen is not as simple as launching multiple aircraft at once. Borzu Banakterpour, an assistant professor of computer science, says unlike piloting a single drone by remote control, operating a fleet requires an automated system to coordinate the task, but allows drones to independently respond to weather, a crash or unexpected events. The operating system must be reliable and secure. The drones need to talk to one another without a central command telling each unit where to go and what to do when conditions change, Banakterpour said. We also want to optimize the time and energy to complete the task because drone batteries only last around 15 or 20 minutes. To tackle this problem, Banakterpour and his colleagues developed a mathematical model to calculate the cost, time and energy to complete a task based on the number of drones and recharging stations available. The model considers the energy required for each drone to complete its portion of the task and fly to a charging station as needed. On paper, the solution is relatively simple for a team of computer scientists, but Banakterpour says moving from theory to implementation is not as easy. As we work on one problem, we actually find new problems we must solve. It's challenging, but that's also what makes it exciting, he said. For example, if a battery lasts 15 minutes in the lab, it may drop to 10 minutes on a hot or cold day outside. Locating charging stations is another issue. The optimal placement may be in the middle of a lake and inaccessible in reality. Managing trade-off between energy and security. Based on their model, Banakterpour, and Dewey Vu with McMaster University, Canada, and Rami Medhat with Google in Waterloo, Canada, developed 4 operating methods, 3 offline optimization techniques and 1 online algorithm. While an offline technique is limited because the pre-programmed flight paths do not allow drones to respond to unexpected events or changing conditions, Banakterpour says it provides the foundation for the online algorithm to operate. The researchers conducted a series of simulations using 4 drones to test for efficiency and security. They found the online algorithm successfully managed the security-energy trade-off within the energy limits of the drones. The fleet completed all assigned tasks and more than half of the authentication checks. The researchers recently presented the findings at the International Conference on Cyber-Physical Systems in Canada. Defending against hackers, rogue drones. Operating an automated fleet of drones poses security risks that are less of a concern when piloting a single drone by remote control. Banakterpour says with automation drones need to receive GPS signal and position frequently. If the signal drops or the drones fly into an area that is GPS denied, it can quickly become a problem. If you're driving your car and lose GPS, your driving skills don't depend on that signal. You may miss an exit, but loss of signal for a minute is usually not a big deal. However, with drones just a few seconds is not tolerable, Banakterpour said. Software bugs or errors may cause a drone to fly off course and not follow direction to complete the mission. Banakterpour says hackers can also send the wrong signal or operate a drone to impersonate the fleet. While finding solutions will take time, Banakterpour says the technology exists to make it happen. However, it will also take industry support to build infrastructure and charging stations as well as regulatory changes to allow for the operation of a fleet of drones.